Developing a clear communication plan, telling parents and staff about lead monitoring. That's part of the Guam Environmental Protection Agency's guidance manual provided to the Guam Department of Education. Following levels of lead exceeding EPA's action level of 15 parts per billion found in water sampled from 2 individual cafeteria sinks at Juanem Guerrero and Machinauno elementary schools. Captain Brian Bearden of the U.S. Public Health Service and Chief Engineer at Guam EPA on what happens next following these discoveries.
They did exceed the action level. There's EPA guidance that's provided for schools called the 3 T's guidance. It gives schools a whole range of things that they should be doing, especially in terms of educating and training their staff and communicating to the parents and the staff as well.
It's preemptive and often communication on testing plans and results not only noted in that manual Bearden references, but also what Oversight Committee Chair on Education Senator Chris Barnett is advocating for from GDOE.
In doing my homework on that, I'm disappointed that the Guam Department of Education didn't inform the public about these situations. I know that they're now saying that they're going to inform the public, but I think, students, staff, stakeholders all have a right to know as soon as the Guam Department of Education does it.
GDOE Superintendent Dr. Kenneth Swanson telling KUAM that both JMG and Machinauno school populations were informed of the August test results. Swanson previously defending he did not need to inform both school communities of initial test results that were below EPA action levels. Still, Barnett contends Swanson has a lawful obligation to keep the community in the loop.
Well, I wrote a letter to the superintendent on the first day of school, which was a while ago, and I'm not sure if I sent it to the right email address because he hasn't responded yet. And in the letter, I did again reiterate that the Safe Schools Facilities Act, which was a bill I introduced that the governor allowed to lapse into law, that act and that law requires him, you're right, to notify the public of any risks or hazards at the school sites and also to inform the public about what GDOE is doing to remedy and mitigate these hazards. And as far as I'm concerned, he hasn't done that yet. And so again, I would ask the superintendent, I know he's new on the job, but the law is the law, and I think that this superintendent and any other superintendent is required to follow the laws.
Meantime, Bearden suggests all schools start implementing the 3T guidance, training, testing, and taking action, ahead of the lead and copper rule revision slated for 2024, which will require testing in all schools and childcare facilities on the island. As for what EPA advises Guam DOE to do about those lead samples coming back above action levels.
Some immediate steps they have to do, such as shutting off the problem fixture. Then there's short-term steps that they're supposed to take, including putting up a sign telling people not to use it for food preparation or whatever they decide to do. It could include things such as flushing the faucet before you use it for various purposes. Most of these faucet problems usually are just only in that first flush of water when the water's sat overnight and it's leached the lead out. So you can do a flushing program where you flush the faucet for 30 seconds or a minute, and then after that the lead levels will be safe. And then there's long-term steps that are recommended, and that includes up to steps such as replacing the plumbing or replacing the fixture itself.
Guam DOE say it has already implemented some immediate and short-term efforts, like disconnecting both devices at JMG and Machinauno. Photos obtained by KUAM show red caution tape and out-of-service signs on the faucet at Machinauno. All actions, Bearden affirms, communicate that no one should be using the tap. This, as Swanson says he plans to switch copper plumbing out to plastic, and as Senator Barnett calls for more transparency and realistic timelines for solutions.